In this session, we are going to be resizing the window using some SDL utilities. So if we look in game main here, this is where we set up the SDL window, the renderer, and then the platform that I have, which we'll discuss in just a moment. For the window, we use create window, and right now, I believe I don't allow resizing. We just have the window dimensions. This is the C++ API doc, but I generated the SDL bindings for Jai, so we can basically just follow these as is. So I think we want this guy here. We want to OR in SDL window resizable. Window flags is SDL window resizable. And we'll pass in window flags, and we'll try and build that. It's gonna be like that. Now, if we build it, this is really cool. Okay, this is exactly what I was hoping would happen. I'll explain how this works, even though I haven't really done any work to make this happen. You can see we're getting auto letterboxing on the sides here. If I move up, we can get letterboxing on the top. We'll need to add some minimum dimensions for resize, right? This doesn't make any sense. So I'll go through and explain how I got this kind of for free. And you can see too, when I resize only one dimension, like only vertically, we get auto scaling. The way that this works is actually thanks to this guy here for SDL set render logical presentation. So here we set a device independent resolution and presentation mode for rendering. So this function sets the width and height of the logical rendering output. The renderer will act as if the current render target is always the requested dimensions. This is the key here. The requested dimensions I give it are the logical screen dimensions. And the logical screen dimensions, we take the actual window size, or in my case, the default window size. That's what I spawn the window with. And then we divide it by a scale factor. That's the logical width, and then the logical height is the same here. When I set the logical presentation, what I tell the renderer is act as if the window is always this scaled size. This is where letterboxing comes from. We determine what to do with the empty space around. If it does not scale uniformly to expand to the full width of the window, then I ask it to do letterboxing here. As I noted here, I put it in this thing called the platform, and I pass the platform into game update. And the reason I have to do this is because in game update, we have render routines, and these are basically drawing into the back buffer. When I do a transform from world tiles to screen pixels, I also pass in the platform, so that way I can do a transform to the logical dimensions of the screen. So I guess I can show the scale. My scale is just 2.0. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm taking a 640 by 480 screen, and I am cutting that in half. And so when I draw a texture of like 16 by 16 pixels on a space that logically is going to be 320 by 240, what actually happens is it gets upscaled. It gets doubled because the actual physical window dimensions, at least when I spawn the window, are 640 by 480. However, we drew into this as if it was only 320 by 240. So these sprites here are actually 16 pixels. Like the art itself is 16 pixels. Maybe I can actually show this real quick. If I change the scale factor to 1 and I rebuild and run it, you'll see how small it is. Like this is how small it normally looks. And maybe there's some charm to that or something, but like if you want to express detail in pixel art, you need to either have a sufficient resolution or a sufficient scale. In my case, because I'm doing the art at such a low resolution, the easiest way to show the detail, to make each pixel count, is to just upscale the rendering. So I just upscale it by 2, but I mean, if I really wanted to, I could upscale it even by 3. So I can really blow it up as much as I want, I guess, and SDL will take care of the scaling. I think we are dealing with floats here, so even dividing by something that doesn't divide in perfectly evenly will still be okay. Let's clip the minimum window size, right, to 640 by 480. So after we create the window and we make sure that the window is successfully created, we will call SDL3 SDL set window minimum size, pass in the window, and we will pass in the default window width pixels and height pixels. I have this %s everywhere. You can tell I have not yet hit one of these issues because I would have seen the error string plus an s. I'm still used to printf here. So we can now, I cannot resize negatively, but I can resize positively. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Peace.